Generational Curses, Strongholds. Welcome back. I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Generational Curses and Ancestors series. What is a stronghold? Anxiety, panic attacks, and gasping for air, trying to get life force. Have you ever been under spiritual attack and found yourself gasping for air? I have. And let me tell you, I know it wasn't anxiety. It was spiritual. There was nothing going on in my life to justify anxiety. No reason to panic yet. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I couldn't breathe. I would be sitting, working happily on my projects, deep in my creative flow, fully aligned with my purpose, and then bam. Panic. Out of nowhere. Gasping for air as if my life force was being pulled from me. At first, I had no idea what was happening. I had never even heard of spiritual warfare. No one had told me that when you walk in your destiny, when you create, when you are using your God-given gifts, you become a target. But as I learned, I realized this only happened when I was actively using my gifts. The attacks weren't random. They were strategic. Every time I got into my art, my writing, my creativity, every time I was flowing in my calling, the panic would strike. Not because I was anxious, not because my body was in distress, but because something else was trying to stop me. Spiritual forces do not attack what does not threaten them. If panic only enters when you are stepping into your calling, using your gifts, or creating something powerful, know this: it is not your energy. What does it mean for someone to call on your spirit man to drain your energy? You are more than your physical body. In the spiritual realm, your spirit man is your true essence, the energetic presence of your soul, your destiny, your divine assignment. And just like someone can steal physical resources, people can call on your spirit man to pull from your energy, to feed off your life force, to harvest what they do not have. This is what energy harvesting is. Your spirit man represents your power, your divine authority, and the force behind your creativity, vision, and purpose. When someone calls on your spirit, they are attempting to access what rightfully belongs to you, your ideas, your influence, your strength. They drain your energy because they lack their own source. The straw man is the counterfeit, the hollow version, the empty vessel that cannot generate energy on its own. Those who have disconnected from their soul cannot create. So what do? They call on yours. They pull from the source they abandoned. They latch onto those who are flowing, thriving, building. They watch, they fixate, they obsess. And when they can't replicate, they take. If you've ever felt drained for no reason, if you've ever felt a sudden, unexplained panic while doing what you love, if you've ever felt like your energy is being pulled without your consent, you are not crazy. Your energy is real estate, and if you do not claim it, protect it, and guard it, someone else will. What is a stronghold? A stronghold is a place of fortified control either by God or by something else. The term originates from warfare, referring to a fortress or a heavily defended position that is difficult to penetrate. In biblical and spiritual contexts, a stronghold is a mental, emotional, or spiritual grip that keeps a person bound, controlled, or restricted. It is not just an idea, it is a structure, a system of control, a place where something takes dominion over a person's life. Strongholds can be holy or unholy. A holy stronghold is when your mind, spirit, and soul are fortified in God, protected, and aligned with divine truth. An unholy stronghold is when your thoughts, emotions, or spirit are occupied by something that should not be there: fear, addiction, deception, or external forces feeding off your energy. What does a stronghold feel like? A spiritual stronghold does not feel like an everyday struggle. It feels like something that has power over you. Repetitive, intrusive thoughts that don't feel like your own. Sudden exhaustion, heaviness, or mental fog for no reason. Feeling stuck in cycles of sin, addiction, or behaviors you don't want to do. Anxiety, panic attacks, or fear that come out of nowhere. Feeling like something is blocking you from stepping into your calling. A sense of oppression, like you are being held down or controlled. When a stronghold is spiritual, it operates like an energetic fortress, preventing a person from moving forward in life, stealing their peace, blocking their blessings, and keeping them in bondage. Who can have a stronghold? Anyone. No one is immune. A stronghold can develop in anyone who has left a door open. A person can be born into strongholds if generational cycles have been passed down. A stronghold can enter through trauma, prolonged sin, deception, or spiritual manipulation. Many people do not even realize they are under a stronghold. They think it's just life, just how they are, or just anxiety. But spiritual strongholds are designed to keep people blind to their own captivity. The history of strongholds and spiritual warfare. Throughout history, strongholds have been used as strategic points of control in battle, and spiritual strongholds operate the exact same way. In ancient warfare, if an enemy could establish a stronghold, they could control an entire territory. In spiritual warfare, strongholds are used to take dominion over a person's soul, mind, and energy. The Bible speaks of strongholds both physically and spiritually. 2 Corinthians 10:4-5. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. This means that strongholds are spiritual structures that can be torn down, but only with divine power. The enemy's strategy has never changed. The goal has always been dominion to take over territory, whether it be land, people, or energy. And if a person is unaware, they may not even realize they are living inside a stronghold that was placed on them. How strongholds relate to energy and the soul. Strongholds are not just mental, they are energetic prisons. A stronghold is like a lock on a person's spirit, making them accessible for energy draining, oppression, and external control. Once a stronghold is in place, a person's thoughts, emotions, and actions are no longer fully their own. A person with a stronghold may feel like they are fighting themselves, but in reality, they are fighting against something that has taken up space within them. This is why some people feel completely exhausted, controlled, or blocked from progress because their energy is being siphoned through a spiritual structure they cannot see. How to recognize and tear down a stronghold. The first step is awareness, recognizing that a stronghold exists. Where do you feel stuck, blocked, or controlled? Are you repeating behaviors you don't want to do? Are you battling thoughts, emotions, or fears that don't feel like yours? Does it feel like you are being drained, attacked, or restricted in your purpose? Once you identify the stronghold, you can begin the process of tearing it down by renouncing it, closing the spiritual doors that gave it access, and occupying your vessel with divine power. Because at the end of the day, a stronghold can only exist where dominion has been forfeited. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and what you just watched is part of my signature program, the Chosen One series inside School of Soul. This series is not just a course, it's a blueprint for those who know they were different from the start: the black sheep, the scapegoat, the truth teller, the cycle breaker. Inside, you'll discover the family roles playbook, the golden child, the scapegoat, the enabler, the lost child, and how to finally step out of the part you were cast in without consent. How the black sheep becomes the goat, turning rejection into radical transformation and leadership. How to break generational curses and rewrite ancestral contracts so the pain stops with you. And how to recognize and escape modern forms of spiritual and technological targeting, from gang stalking to synthetic synchronicity. This isn't just about survival. It's about awakening, about reclaiming your voice, your lineage, and your destiny as one of the chosen ones. Click the link below to access the full series now, because the role ends the moment you decide it does, and the real script begins with you.